Billy Beebe with you pregame here on the live stream as we get set for the season opener of Malone men's basketball. To get you ready, we are joined by head coach Kaufman. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing well. Good to be with you, Billy.
And a new season of Malone men's basketball upon us. What's the feeling around practice, around the locker room, and for you personally as the season gets ready?
Yeah, I think we're excited. Of course, the guys are always excited to get out there and play your first game. A lot of new faces. So we've been working through just getting everybody acclimated with the system and up to speed. So that's been a big part of our preseason, is just getting some of our younger guys kind of up to speed with things that some of our older guys do know. So we've had 3 scrimmages so far, and we've been able to see some good things. It's been really valuable for us from the coaching staff, just being able to address some areas we got to improve on, and excited to get started on Friday.
Yeah, before we get to the new faces and the season upcoming, let's talk about last year real quick. Some highs, some lows. What was your overall takeaway from last season?
Well, we had a bunch of guys who graduated who had outstanding careers at Malone. I think, Marcus, Jarrett, and Bryce, their careers at Malone in terms of the Division II era is probably as successful as anybody who's played here. So that would be the biggest takeaway. Eli Ramsey and Tracy Sumner were also on those teams, and they had a lot to do with the success that we had. Eli on the court and Tracy more in the locker room. Obviously, one of the biggest things that stuck with us is we were in the national tournament 2 years ago and had an opportunity to do it again last year, and felt like just kind of floundered in some things, specifically defensively, that we need to be really good at towards the end of the season. And that's disappointing. That was something that we wanted to get done that we didn't. So I think that stuck with our guys a little bit, and hopefully there's some good that comes from that.
Coach, who can we expect to be leaders on this team, both on and off the court for you guys?
Yeah, I think just naturally your oldest players, guys who have been in the program, know the most. And if you got things that you do uniquely, they're able to convey that. And so because of that, all of our older guys have some type of leadership. Erwin Gutich and Bo Myers are going to do it in a little bit different way than Justin Miller and Levi Seiler. But we feel like all of our seniors have stepped into some leadership. Justin Miller and Levi Seiler are our most vocal guys and guys that we're most dependent on showing leadership. Simon Blair's got to be a guy that steps into a role where he's a little bit more in charge of our offense as a point guard out there. And so there's some leadership that we're calling on from him. But from the underclassmen, we think that Elijah Hinton is one of our guys who's most comfortable being vocal and confrontational when he needs to be. And when he says stuff, he says good things. He's credible, Billy. So those would be guys that stand out just in different areas of leadership.
Coach Kaufman joining us on the live stream as we get set for the season opener. So you guys are at home for the opener, and then you hit the road for a couple games. Give me some positives of being on the road.
I think you learn a lot about your team. It's just you on the road. And so I think some of the things that you emphasize from your bench decorum and just your culture are important, and you see that exposed on the road. I think some of the resiliency and things you talk about that doesn't have to do with X's and O's are things you find out a little bit more on the road. I think you become a closer group too whenever you're in situations where the guys only have each other to hang out with. Just naturally you become closer as well.
All right, Coach, you mentioned the guys that graduated had such an impact on the team and the program last year. How does your program and your team and even your style of play move on from those players?
Good question. As far as style of play, there's some things that we do that are kind of the same in terms of our offense. We run some of the similar stuff. I think just with what we emphasize and what we're looking for in different stuff, that's where the big change will be. Like, we're not asking anybody on our team to be Bryce Butler or Marcus Ernst right now. So we're trying to get it done in a little bit different ways and playing through some different things because of that. But I think the pace of play is pretty similar. There's going to be times where we want to be a little bit more deliberate about where the ball gets, especially in the second half of a game, and we need to slow things up and be a little bit more direct from the sidelines. Hey, the ball's got to go here. So that might slow us down in some ways, but for the most part, pretty similar style.
Hit me with one name that we may not be expecting that's going to make an impact this year?
Well, I think we were doing player meetings yesterday, and I hope that there's a lot of new names. I do. We have 4 guys that we feel like right now we're pretty sure that they're going to play and they're going to start on Friday, and then 5 through 12 right now are guys that are competing for time, and so some of this there's a lot of things to play itself out. But I would say that one guy who's back, who stepped into a different role, was Caleb Connard. He's a redshirt freshman, and so nobody saw him play a year ago. He's done some good things in our preseason time. His biggest issue has just been staying healthy. So he's struggled with getting on the floor because of some injuries and stuff in our preseason. But he's factored into our playing time when he's been out there. But hopefully that's a question I can answer a lot better in a few weeks.
All right, Coach, if somebody hasn't seen you guys yet, nobody's watched you, what do you want them to know about your team going into this season?
Yeah, I'd hope that if someone watches us, the biggest thing that they see from us is that we play the game the right way. And for me, that just means that we're selfless. That doesn't mean that we don't know who the best players are offensively and the ball doesn't go certain places, but guys make decisions based on what's best for the team. And at the same time, I feel like they care more about the team than themselves. Like you see that in our bench and the way that our guys care about winning and what's happening as opposed to the fact that they're not getting on the floor. That would be my biggest thing. Whether or not you know basketball or not, I'd hope you can come and watch a game and get a sense for that.
Great stuff. Coach, thanks for the time. We're wishing you luck tonight and the rest of the season.
Billy, I appreciate it.